Hello, everybody, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. I am Michael Schwahn.
Oh shit! My computer restarted, so that website's gone.
Oh, I was like, I thought you were about to say that your computer is restarting again.
Give me a second.
Please remember, everybody, that you can help support this show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, purchasing our merchandise through the merch store, which you can get at, there's a link in any description that
I'm
you
Chester
find.
Minute.
You're Chester Minute?
Yeah,
I know.
like just a minute.
Got it, okay. Otherwise, where was I? Where was I on my spiel, Nathan? Where was I? Live, 6 p.m., Facebook, YouTube broken, Facebook good, the last time. Stories, reddit.com/r/iRedditcast, or via email, iReddit@mjolnir.media. Chester Minute, how are you today?
Pretty good. I'm kind of tired, but I've got a coffee that my roommates got me. As I was getting home, they were also walking towards the door, so it was like perfect timing.
So, like, fucking, I had all this, like, nice natural light coming in, and then a cloud apparently just moved over the sun, so now I'm just shrouded in darkness.
That's all right. I'm going to have this blinding glare until I fix that again.
Sucks to suck, Nathan.
And it's going to be hard to fix because, like, I have the gecko lamp sitting up there on the frame, so it's like I shouldn't take it down, you know?
I'm sure there will be no problem. You shouldn't experience any difficulties at all.
Sure.
Whatsoever. It'll just go absolutely perfectly smoothly, you know, and you'll be able to go on with life.
Yeah.
So how was your day, though? Anything exciting happened today? The sun's coming back.
It was all right. I've just been running around the building the entire day. We had a guy get taken out by JS like really early in the morning because he was talking about how if something doesn't go his way, he's going to have to shoot somebody with his gun. Or since he was warned not to say that, he was told, all right, fine, then I'll just go and get my militia.
He has a militia?
Apparently.
His own personal militia?
I guess so.
Interesting.
So we mulled it over and we were like, yeah, let's just call some JS. So we did. The guy was not happy, but, you know, no one really is when they're arrested.
No, it sounds like they can get over it.
Except my dad. My dad would be fairly happy.
Yeah?
Yeah, 3 square meals a day, all the books you can read. Yeah, my dad would be happy.
Sounds like he needs to go rob a bank.
Don't tell my dad that.
Well, does he listen to the show?
I mean, he might, actually.
Oh, well, too
I know
late.
my mom listens to it, so she'll probably listen to it, you know, openly. I know my dad has listened to it before.
It's too late, Nathan. It's live out there for everyone to read and see and hear now.
Oh.
All right. I don't actually know how they're going to read it unless I guess maybe the
transcribed.
Well, I would say the real awkward, like, automatic closed caption that YouTube tries to put on the videos.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's real bad, though.
It's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, it's real bad.
It's real bad. You want to talk about some news?
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. I got D&D tonight.
You got D&D tonight.
We're gonna finish this session. We're gonna be done with the Middle East, and we're going to go over to China next. I convinced all of the people to play in the same Chinese family as me, and our goal is Nathan, to go and make our family name the best name in all of China.
You're playing D&D, right? Not American War history.
No, we're all set in 300 BC though. So
are you sure? Because
yeah,
you're done with the Middle East. You're about to make your way over to China. Are you sure you're not America in 2018?
We're gonna take Russia soon. That was actually, it was either coming down to like Russian, European, or China, and so we chose China, and it's great because our family name is Wang Chang, and my character's name is Bang, so it's Wang Chang Bang. And he is cavalry, and he is the third born in his family.
I stand by my statement.
He's going to run around with a G. Do you know what a G is?
No.
It is a giant-ass fucking halberd that the cavalry would run around with and cleave people with on horseback or on chariot back. Dude. There was chariots for a while, and then they decided to ditch chariots for horseback because of the terrain of China.
So I'm this is completely random. I'm real excited because I was getting ready to change the little text in our little news ticker, right? So that I could put in topic number 5 so that we could get started. and I realized that it has an option that I didn't look closely enough at these boxes when I really should have. Is that it was at 30? It was locked at 30 FPS, and I was able to increase it up to 60 FPS, so it flows much smoother now. And I was also able to up the speed, so all of that massive text will flow faster.
Oh, good.
I should read settings more often.
Yeah, you should.
Apparently. Anyway.
Today you learned.
5.
Delete Facebook. Movement gains steam after 50 million users have data leaked.
This is submitted by Jose, Twitter fan, to our news.
It's submitted by a fuckload of people because this is a follow-up from a conversation that we had yesterday. And we talked about it a little bit, but unfortunately the conversation kind of got dropped off because Nathan's computer said, fuck you, I'm restarting right now. But
that was real fucking rude.
A significant more amount of information has come out about this. And so we're going to talk about it. There's a shitload of links in the show notes if you want to read some of these stories for yourself.
I'm just going to go through some of the usernames real quick. There's, it's my username to our technology.
Solely to our world news.
Hell from news to our politics.
Johnny W94 to our technology.
In the latrine to our world news.
And How Am I Here 2000 to our news.
Okay.
And this is everything from the hashtag delete Facebook movement, the amount of money that Mark Zuckerberg has lost, Mark Zuckerberg selling off a lot of his Facebook stock, the
Zuckerberging himself, really.
Yeah. An insider from Facebook talking about how data management is held there. Members of Parliament from the United Kingdom requesting Mark Zuckerberg come speak on the matter. And what Nathan had tried to talk about yesterday before we got cut off is that the person that actually brought all this information forward, their account on Facebook has been suspended. So, what happened? Okay, so as I was talking about...
There was also a thing today on Channel 4 News in Britain that talked more about it, too.
Yeah. It was an expose, although I didn't have a link to that one. So, anyway, to real quickly summarize, Facebook, there are tons of third-party app developers on Facebook. When you click that link to see what kind of potato you are through MagiQuiz, that is a third-party developer. They make an agreement with Facebook to provide an app through Facebook, and then that's why a lot of those you have to give them permission to access your profile, especially the ones that are like, we'll scan your profile and tell you which Disney princess you are. You are giving them permission to look at information about you. Now, this has been a very common thing on Facebook for a very long time, but here's what happened, is that there's this guy that made his own app for a survey. I don't need to give you his name. It is irrelevant. He made an app for Facebook that went to about 270,000 people to do a survey for him through this app for whatever the fuck. I mean, it could have literally been what kind of potato are you, because that's considered a survey. It hit 270,000 people, but with the permissions that he was given, he got around 50 million people's worth of information. And then a particular individual gave Cambridge Analytica $14 million to then purchase said data from that guy. Okay? Now, according to the agreement between that guy and Facebook, you are not allowed to sell the data that you get because that's money that Facebook would like to have for selling off your information, whereas they don't get the money through that process. So, this guy sold 50 million people's worth of data to Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica was hired by the Trump campaign because that is what they're good at, is helping people win. They say that they're all above board and they do it with honest things. They don't do fake news. Then a video came out that was also released in that the name of that expose, that's the word I was looking for, that showed two people meeting with somebody, two people from Cambridge Analytica telling them about how they can get this fake stuff going on, to fake emails, all this kind of stuff, including sending hookers and stuff and videotaping these candidates with hookers to blackmail them.
Specifically Ukrainian hookers?
Well, no, the guy requested Ukrainian hookers.
Oh, right.
Or from Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so people are like, oh, man, what does this mean for Trump? And Trump had hired them and then almost immediately fired them because their campaign didn't like what Cambridge Analytica was doing. They didn't provide enough. And a lot of people that have hired Cambridge Analytica before have said the same thing, is that they are not actually that good at what they pitch themselves as, but they're really good at sounding like they know what they're doing. They've
also had fairly many campaigns in other countries too.
Right, and in one of the videos they talk about how much they're expanding. Anyway, so the story initially made this gain traction was the whole Trump campaign thing. That's not what's important.
Wasn't Cambridge Analytica owned by Steve Bannon at one point?
I don't think so. It was founded by some really, really rich family that likes to be involved in politics, and the reason that a lot of people hire Cambridge Analytica is because it is believed you will not get support from that family unless you hire the service. So that's where that is. But the thing that's actually important is that it like, ignore the Trump campaign part. Ignore it. Like, that's why this got attention. Ignore that. The thing is that the story now that is important that people are focusing on is that Facebook does fuck all for protecting your data from anybody. Several other third-party app developers have come forward and said there is nothing preventing us besides Facebook saying you shouldn't do that would prevent us from actually selling your data. It is not protected. It is not licensed. Nothing. We have it. We have shitloads of it, and if we want to sell it, we can. And the worst thing that Facebook can do is deny our app in the future. That is it. Now, what has happened? We've had 50 million people's worth of data from Facebook taken and sold. Now, the thing is that you're like, oh, well, the only thing I talk about on Facebook is my meal prep and my sister's wedding. Facebook collects way more information than you realize. They know your habits.
Especially if you allow their app on your phone.
Yeah, they know your habits. They know your interests. They know what you do, when you do it. They know way more about you than you realize, and they have it all fucking cataloged and ready to go to be sold to anyone that wants to know what's the best way to sell Nathan Wood my back scratcher, or whatever the fuck.
Fairly easily, honestly. If you make that back scratcher in, like, specific shapes that are fucking dope, then yeah, like if it's a back scratcher that also looks like a goddamn mace, you bet your ass I'd probably buy that.
So now Facebook has said previously that they're working on shoring up their security issues, but nothing actually shows that they're doing so. And so members of parliament from the United Kingdom have personally requested that Mark Zuckerberg come answer some questions because they feel as though they have been lied to by Facebook itself.
And, you know, I can understand that.
Because let's keep in mind that Facebook has over 1 billion users, over 1/7 of the planet.
Right. But, I mean, if MySpace is no longer a thing, Facebook can also be no longer a thing.
True. Except Facebook has a lot of money. MySpace.
That being said, if anyone is thinking about deleting their Facebook, but you want all of your pictures, there is a way for you to download all of your pictures through Facebook in a zip file.
Yes.
Which is probably what Facebook was sending people who also tried to purchase their information. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah. And here's the other part is that you can request for your Facebook to be deleted. It takes up to 90 days because they have to delete all your posts, anywhere that you have been, etc. They remove everything from the public side of Facebook. I have not looked into it, but I highly doubt that they delete your data that they have collected from their servers because, well, why would they? So now that's really the situation at hand. If you want to be concerned about Cambridge Analytica, you can, but the focus instead is about the security of your data, the 1 billion people plus worth of data that Facebook has and how careless they are with it. We will see what happens if Mark Zuckerberg does go talk to the members of parliament. It is much more likely that somebody else will represent Facebook and go speak to them. That they've requested Mr. Zuckerberg, but that he by no means has to comply. He hasn't been subpoenaed or anything like that.
Just remember, guys, if you are signing up for a service that is a free service, you just got to remember, if it's free, then you are the product.
Yeah, you are the product. They are collecting information about you to sell to other people so that they can put more ads on their service to pitch to you. Like, Google's not a search engine. Google is an advertising agency. Mm-hmm. Isn't it? It's like 90%.
There's a search. There's a search website that I saw in a Reddit comment earlier. It was something really cool that had pretty much Google results, but you could also type !G and it would pull up Google results without Google cataloging what you had searched for.
Neat.
I'll have to find the thing again because it was real cool. I just can't remember the name for the life of me.
Isn't it something like 90% of Google's revenue comes from ads?
I think so.
It's a lot. I know that. It's a friggin' lot. Chadwick in the chat room says, Facebook is a record of your private life. People should understand. I'm not going to say private. It's up to you on whether it's private or not. Facebook is a record of your personal life.
Yeah.
But yes, people should understand and remember that. Like, also, as another note, if it's on the internet, it's forever there. With very, very limited exception. Anything that gets put on the internet is always on the internet. You can try and take it down from wherever you put it, but I want you to understand that services like archive.org exist, which literally save snapshots of the internet every fucking hour.
Right. But the thing people have a problem with is, yes, this is a record for their private lives, but they expected it to be private, especially if they leave those privacy settings on. They don't expect their stuff to be sold to these other companies.
Right. But and one of the things that so in regards to one of the things that we had mentioned of a lot of things that people are talking about is the insider that used to work for Facebook that said that Facebook's data harvesting routine was utterly horrifying. He had even tried to talk about shoring up their securities, stopping certain practices, and basically he was told by Facebook, like, get over it. This is how things work around here. If you want to go into it, it's going to be bad for you. But
basically, shh, guys, don't talk about that. Just keep working.
But one of the things he talks about, which is something that's really important, especially as we continue to go forward in the world, is the idea of terms of service and end-user license agreements. So TOS and EULA. Those are the things that when you're like, I'm signing up for the service, and you have to click a box that says, I agree to your terms of service or the EULA, the end-user license agreement. Nobody reads those.
No.
You click the box because you're like, yeah, I want to see what potato I am. You click the box and you move on. But you don't know what you've agreed to. And the other problem is that they're written in such a way that even if you did read it, you probably wouldn't get it.
Yeah. It's all legal speak. So unless you're a lawyer or paralegal or have spent time with these legal documents, you're not going to know half of the words because they're in Latin.
So, literally in Latin. So I'll be I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed moving forward in the world, especially as they become more and more and more common because of the amount of shit that's involved with those things.
Yeah.
Because the vast majority of the people just go, yeah, I agree, move on.
Well, I mean, people want to use the service. They don't think ahead about what they're signing up for. Like, I'll guarantee that I hadn't thought ahead when I signed up for Facebook, but I signed up for Facebook when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. That being said, I've also thought about deleting my Facebook several times, and currently the only reason why I have a Facebook is because of the show and my grandmother.
Sure. The other thing that people have been wanting to talk about is that with all of this news coming out, Facebook stock has taken a pretty heavy hit. People are excited to talk about
Facebook stalking.
Yeah, actually, yeah, People are like, man, Mark Zuckerberg has lost $9 billion. But the other thing that has gotten a lot of attention is that over the last 3 months, Mark Zuckerberg has sold 1.14 million shares of Facebook.
Okay, so this gets me excited because he sold those shares for his charitable profit, right? For his charity.
Yep.
But the charity is actually an LLC.
Really?
Yeah, the charity is an LLC. So all of the money that goes into it, he doesn't have to report where that money goes.
Damn.
So he is probably lining all of his pockets with all of that money that he just sold.
He doesn't need to line his pockets. He's one of the richest men in the world. He's literally in the top 10.
By the way, he sold all of those shares to that LLC.
It should also be pointed out also.
So he still has control of all of it.
The shares had a value of right around $210 million. Okay.
All right, hold up.
But
Chadwick in the chat says, I don't care about your damn EULA. I'm trying to get my porn on. Why are you agreeing to a EULA with porn? Porn's free. You just go to a fucking website, click yes, I'm 18, and start watching videos.
Because I don't know.
What kind of person makes a fucking account on a porn website?
The people that pay for it, which is fucking weird.
Also, I found out that there is a subreddit about movies that are not porn movies that are on porn websites. So you can go to Pornhub and watch all of like B Movie and certain other movies.
Yeah. Anyway, so he sold 1.14 million shares at an estimated value of $210 million. People are like, oh man, was that insider trading? One, no. He has to report to the SEC months ahead of time whenever he's going to sell shares. These shares were scheduled to be sold several months ago. And the other thing I want to point out,
it's just good timing,
is that he sold 1.14 million shares. He still has 393 million shares to his name.
Also, because of where he sold those 1.1 million shares, he still technically has control of it.
Yeah, the dude owns 13.5% of Facebook. 393 million shares. Like,
so I mean, you know,
what is the stock of Facebook right now? Facebook stock price.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's see. We'll just round it. 393 million times $168 is the $66 billion that he's worth, purely in just Facebook shares.
Good God.
So, if you want to talk about insider trading, no, this is not it. This is just him moving money around because he has more money than anyone can comprehend, including himself.
And I guarantee you don't need that much fucking money.
Like, you want to know one of the sad things is, like, people are like, oh, insider trading, and they always think of Martha Stewart. Do you know how much Martha Stewart actually earned from the shares she sold as part of her insider trading?
A couple grand?
200,
maybe 10 grand?
240,000.
Okay, so.
But at the same time, people are like, oh, man, it must be huge. No, she just got in trouble because you're not allowed to do that, because you had knowledge that the stock market didn't have.
Did she know that it was illegal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So.
Anyway.
So she kind of deserved it. But at the same time, like, she did her time. She got out, and she's not doing it anymore.
Just be aware of all of these things. So, that story ate up like 15 minutes. Shall we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Nope.
4.
Got it. A self-driving Uber killed a pedestrian. Human drivers will kill 16 today.
This was submitted by Mavia to our Futurology.
They're taking over, Nathan. They started. They got their first victim.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. It's fucking there. It's clear as day, man. The robots are going to try and... This is pretty much Carrie or Maximum... Oh, fuck. What was the name? Maximum Carnage? I think that was the name of
Straight
that
up
movie?
rubber.
No, it is not Straight Up Rubber. That is different.
Whatever.
Because rubber was a sentient tire, not a sentient car. Since it's a car, it's Carrie or Maximum Overdrive, I think.
Either way.
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive.
So in Tempe, Arizona, a woman was struck by an autonomous vehicle. She did die from the collision. This was a self-driving vehicle that was piloted by Uber. There was somebody in the car there, but they were, just watching the systems and stuff like that go on. So, that's one thing. That's one point
Do
about
they have a
it.
manual override?
Yeah, they can. But I mean, when they're just like taking notes and stuff, and they look up and the car's like, punch you. Uber has currently put all of its self-driving vehicles on a hiatus while they put additional check into it. The thing that a lot of people want to bring forward, though, is one, there's still not a lot of rules around self-driving vehicles. But the other thing is that this purely the number of vehicles directly hitting pedestrians, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 6,000 of those a year in the United States. This is not car accidents. This is the number of vehicles directly hitting somebody that is not in a vehicle.
So it could be the vehicle was not in park and went down a hill and crashed into somebody.
Sure. Plenty of...
So, like Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the first pedestrian death from a self-driving car in the, 3 years we've had them. And each day, 16 people that are walking down the street will die from a vehicle because people were driving them and they suck at driving.
So if you guys are freaking out over this one self-driving car killing somebody, then you guys should really start looking at other fucking numbers.
Yeah. because it's something like 30,000 or 60,000 people a year die in America just from vehicle deaths. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But either way, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm about to say this. This in some ways needed to happen. Because one of the biggest problems with self-driving vehicles was, okay, an accident happens. The self-driving car, maybe it made a mistake. Maybe, something went wrong. Maybe someone jumped out in front of it. Maybe someone who wasn't in a self-driving vehicle did something stupid. Accident happens. Someone dies.
You can't learn without mistakes.
Well, no, the question that's been posed so many times is, let's say it was the self-driving car's fault, as this seems to be so far. Who is liable for it? In this case, Uber is liable for it because it is their car. But let's say I owned a self-driving vehicle, right? And my self-driving vehicle is driving down the road, and the system has a problem, and it ends up hitting and killing somebody. Am I liable, or are the people that made the machine liable?
So here's how I'd view it, right? Since the guy that was in the Uber vehicle is not technically in trouble because he was not driving the car and everything, you would not be liable for your self-driving car running somebody over. What would be liable would be the self-driving system in the car. So whoever designed the system and put it in that car would be liable because that system failed.
So so what you're suggesting then is that if it's my car, I'm the owner of it, mm-hmm. but it is we'll say it's Uber's self-driving technology. Uber's the one liable for it?
If it could be their technology, but it could be another, company. If it's the company that made that self-driving technology, and it is their self-driving, technology in that car, and it is their brand in that car, then they should be the ones that have to deal with the lawsuit. Because it should be like when you purchase that, it should be guaranteed that shit shouldn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a self-driving car. So it wouldn't be on you because you think that everything's going to be fine now.
Mm. Okay.
At least that's how I would view it.
Chadwick says people aren't just numbers, right? So who is the person? She was 49-year-old Elaine Herzberg.
I'm sorry that you had to die by a self-driving car.
But hopefully this does lead to a progression in how these things will be handled.
In addition to updates to self-driving technology.
In any case, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Technology's not perfected yet, so. Device explodes in FedEx building outside San Antonio, police say.
This is submitted by Did Santiago Send You to our news.
Did Santiago send you? No, she's still with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anyway, so we haven't talked about it yet.
I watched a movie last night that had a character from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in it. Well, it wasn't a character; it was the actress. But
oh, okay.
It was a good film. If you guys haven't seen Game Night, you should. It's really funny.
Noted. Okay. Anyway, so we haven't talked about it yet, but there is a believed serial bomber that is at large in Austin, Texas.
I thought it was in Atlanta.
No, Austin. Is there in Atlanta, Texas?
No, I mean Atlanta, Georgia.
No,
I want to say there's like like 4 or 5 bombs that went off there.
Nope, it is all Austin, Texas. I am very certain of that.
Okay.
I mean, there unless maybe there's another one in Atlanta, but the ones that I'm getting ready to talk about are all from Austin.
I will. I'll look into it.
Okay. Anyway, several of these are very small package bombs. There's been a few people killed. So far, it appears that they are targeting prominent black families.
Oh, it is Austin. I just misread it as Atlanta when I first read it.
There hadn't been any indication that they'd been being shipped through the mail until recently when at a FedEx facility that is actually outside of San Antonio, What is the actual name of the town that it's located in? Because it's not San Antonio, it's not Austin, it's some small town between them. Either way, and a package exploded. Nobody was injured. Not severely injured. The person that was closest to the blast was treated for a concussion, but they did not have to go to the hospital. And they did find a second package they believe to be from the same sender that had explosives in it as well.
Fuck. Is it just random black families, or is it like high
They have
ranking black families or anything like that?
They've tried to make connections. Like there's 2 bombs that went directly to people's doorstep. One that was rigged to a tripwire on the side of the road that ended up catching like some random white guy that was riding his bike down the sidewalk. There was another one that went to the wrong door. Somebody that had the same last name as someone else that lived down the street. So they're trying to piece that together.
Wait, how do they know if it went to the wrong door?
Well, I don't.
Was it just the package?
What, the package itself?
Yeah, like, did he send the package through the mail and it just went to the wrong house because of the last name?
Well,
or like, how do we know that it went to the wrong house?
We don't. But the other ones were targeted to black families of prominent note. The other one shared the last name with a very prominent black family that was a few doors down the street. So it is believed that it went to the wrong house.
Sure, by putting connections together and everything.
They have interviewed over 230 people and questioned somewhere near 500. They have not gotten very far with this yet. They are offering $115,000 to any information that leads to the arrest of this bomber. The Texas governor has opened up $230,000 in emergency funds to begin providing better equipment to the local police forces as well as the state troopers. An additional 100 state troopers have been dispatched to the area to try and help solve this problem. They have also opened up a phone line and have publicly requested that if it is one person, if it is a serial bomber, that they contact the police and tell them what they want and what their intentions are so that maybe they can work out a deal to prevent more people from dying. That's where we are.
I mean, I can understand trying to work with somebody to stop them from doing shit.
Nathan, I thought we didn't work with terrorists.
I mean...
Or is that just in the movies? I don't actually know.
We're not supposed to, but this is domestic terrorism, so it might happen.
So it's not terrorism?
Especially if he's white.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. So, I wish you luck, Austin, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. Besides, like, suck.
2.
God damn it. Now,
Nathan, you're lagging real far behind. Are you here?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm lagging, but
it's getting better.
I had an old meme in my head when you said Austin.
Yeah.
There's a wrestling moment where Stone Cold Steve Austin was listening to this thing that he didn't know who it was. This the whole like this for months, and then it was revealed who it was, and it was fucking McMahon, and when they revealed it, they showed him up on the screen, and McMahon goes, "It was me, Austin! It was me all along!" And he just keeps repeating it, and I had you fooled! I had all of you fooled!
That's pretty terrible.
It was hilarious.
13-year-old's public rock museum was robbed, so people continent-wide offer donations and samples from their collections.
Aw, this is submitted by Cal217 to our uplifting news. That fucking rocks.
Damn it, Nathan.
Everyone came together in a conglomerate.
It's a pun.
Don't be igneous.
It's a pun.
Any more?
There's a conglomerate, igneous. I forget what the other... Metamorphic. Okay, so I have to think of something for metamorphic. I'll think of it.
Okay. So, 13-year-old Judah Tyerman, he had started the Sasula Mineral and Gem Museum in Radisson, just because he wanted to. He wanted to share his passion for rocks with as many people as he could. He had a lot of very rare stones and things in there. One of the most valuable things in there was a piece of ocean jasper that was worth around $3,000.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Somebody had broke into the museum, stole as much as they possibly could, anything of value, everything. It looks like the total value stolen was upwards of $8,000, including the museum's donation jar.
That's fucked up.
Yep. After, trying to deal with what happened, he began to receive tons and tons of emails from people with private collections and museums across America that are sending him pieces of their collections to add to his. There's also a GoFundMe page set up that is currently sitting at $9,000. And he is going to use that to, get some replacement pieces, put the building back together, and then he hopes to continue to expand his collection so that it can be, a full-on museum. Good on you. 13 years old. Power to you.
Yeah, I mean, you got a fucking collection there.
He sends 10%.
The only collection I had at that age was porn. And it wasn't a good one.
He also sends 10% of all of the money that is raised from both sales at the museum, entrance, all of that stuff, to an underfunded orphanage in Africa. And all of the money that he got to start the museum, he got from mowing people's lawns. He didn't get any money from his parents or anything like that. He did everything on his own.
That's fucking cool. Good on you. I'm sorry that it happened to you,
But
it's
power
real
to you,
fucking
and
shitty.
keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I'm glad you got more samples for your collection. It's really cool.
The Weinstein Company to file for bankruptcy tonight.
This is submitted by Bunyip Pouch to our movies.
Yeah. So the Weinstein Company, obviously part of Harvey Weinstein, one of the biggest faces in the #MeToo movement for sexual assault.
Wasn't he one of the first, if not the first person to be outed?
I don't know.
All because of Hannibal Buress. Wait, no, it was Crosby that Hannibal Buress was talking about.
Anyway, the Weinstein Company is going to be officially filing for 363 bankruptcy. 363 bankruptcy is the type of bankruptcy where they sell off all your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the Weinstein Company is apparently worth somewhere around $500 million, at least when it's completely sold off in the fashion that they're believing is going to be. The thing with 363 bankruptcy is when it's sold, if somebody wants to buy the whole thing, they can. It can be sold in parts and pieces, and it's really up to the people buying them on what happens. So we might see the Weinstein Company be purchased and relabeled. It might be completely dismantled and just sold off in a bunch of pieces that will then become parts of other pieces.
I hope they take all of their potential works and all of these other companies start optioning them instead.
So, and that's really all we have right now is just that's what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to buy it. There was somebody that had bid on purchasing the entire thing. That bid has then been withdrawn. So now there's several other companies that are interested in picking up the assets of the Weinstein Company. So we'll see. But it hopefully means no more Weinstein Company because nobody wants to see that name anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no one really wants to see that name.
I don't.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Nathan.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
What did you care about in the last 24 hours?
Okay, so I know you don't use them, but if anybody has old mascara wands, do not get rid of them.
Why?
Because there is a service called Wands for Wildlife. A bunch of wildlife places will take mascara wands and use them to brush the fur of newly born animals to remove fly eggs and larvae.
Okay.
So, if you have any extra mascara wands, they ask you to wash the wands in soapy water to remove the residual mascara, and to mail the old wands to, there's this place, P.O. Box 1211, Skyland, North Carolina, 28776.
Okay.
And it helps all of these tiny little newborn animals as well as older animals. You're using them for a good reason. They're helping them get de-egged and larvae. It's great so that these little animals don't get botfly or any crazy shit like that. Even though I don't know if botfly is in North Carolina.
I approve.
But I
if you haven't already,
it was fucking adorable.
Drop me a link to that and Hangout so that I can throw it in the show notes before it goes other places.
Yep, I will go to Hangouts and I will. I'm actually sending you the page that has information because you'll have to mail a form with it, and it's a recycle form, but you can print off that form. Yeah, it's a real cool thing to do, and it's a form of recycling in a very positive light.
I like it. I approve.
Because a lot of times you're throwing these things away, and like that wand is probably going to get stuck up in a turtle's nose, and that turtle will die. So this is a good way to help the environment with your trash than hurting it. And they ask for as many ones as possible because each animal will need one. So if you have a single one, send it in. But if you have like 40, send all of those in. They will want all of them.
Well, because I bet they disperse them to other places that can use them if they get too many.
I would hope so. I would also hope, because this goes specifically to the Appalachian Wildlife Refuge. So I hope that if they get too many, they send it out to other places or at least recycle them. But,
Today I learned a Dutch student once faked a gap year as part of a university project to show how social media is not reflective of real life.
This was submitted by Taizo789 to our Today I Learned.
So a gap year, somebody is studying school, right? They're going to school for a long time or whatever you want to call it. A gap year is normally one academic year that they take as a break, and they normally, they get away from school. Let's call it an academic vacation instead of a gap year. So maybe it's for work, maybe it's for play, whatever. They take some time off of school.
I need a vacation. Vacation's where I want to be.
So, Dutch student Zilla van den Born said she was going to take a gap year and was going to spend that year traveling around Southeast Asia. And during that entire time, she, using Photoshop and other editing software, continued to literally just sat in her apartment and edited herself into tons of photos very well to make it appear as though she was on vacation.
I like it. That's what's up.
Remember, everybody, that social media is a horrible enabler for FOMO, the fear of missing out. But you are normally only seeing the most positive moments from somebody's life because that's what they normally share. It is not always indicative of what's happening. Sometimes people have their own problems, and sometimes people are literally lying to you for an entire fucking year.
Like this lady.
Like this lady. Chadwick wants me to remind everybody that Toys R Us is Toys R Us is closing. Got it. So that means they're having big, humongous liquidation sales. They're closing. There will be no more Toys R Us after the next 2 months. So be sure to find out when your Toys R Us is closing, when their liquidation sales are going to be starting, if they haven't started already, and go buy some charity toys that you can give to charity to kids that need them. It's a good
not just charity, but boys and girls programs. Any form of daycares would probably love more toys.
Yeah. Just you can go, or if you're a parent that needs more toys, you're I don't know how I'm going to buy birthday and Christmas presents.
Yeah, or if you're just sitting there thinking, man, I really want those Transformers.
Yeah,
go for it.
Go get you some, and say goodbye to Toys R Us and Babies R Us.
Yeah, because they're pretty much done now.
They're out. All right, you ready to get out of here, Nathan?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But where am I going to get my amiibos then?
I don't fucking know.
Probably GameStop.
I was GameStop, or they have amiibos at Fred Meyer and Walmart.
Yeah, but Toys R Us have amiibos.
Amazon?
Yeah, I guess so. I can order them online.
Anyway, how many amiibos do you even actually own?
Actually, I don't have any.
Okay, that's because I know I refuse to buy amiibos.
I have a friend, Brendan. Actually, he has an amiibo thing that you program, and you can get all of the amiibos.
Sure. Anyway.
So we just use that. It's like an R4 unit, but for amiibos.
Remember, everybody, that you can please help support us at patreon.com/dailyinternet. Help the show grow. Get yourself additional episodes, bonus episodes, hangout days, etc. All that's through Patreon. Otherwise, if you want to get yourself some sweet swag, be sure to check the description wherever you are for a link to the store to get yourself right now. The only shirt we have available is the one with our logo on it, and be sure to get that while you can.
I have to get one of each, the shirt, the hoodie, and the other thing for my sister.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was going to get it for her birthday.
Oh, you should do that. Anyway, otherwise, follow and share the show on social media. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all of those are at iReaditCast. Otherwise, you can get video versions on Facebook and YouTube, again, at iReaditCast. I'm on social media at Schwahn Michael, and Nathan is at Bibenstein. Submit stories for us to talk about to our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/iReaditCast, or to our email, which is iReadit@mjolnir.media. And that's it, everybody. That's your 447th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm what was it?
Chester something.
Chester Minute.
Chester Minute. And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.